And talking about that sort of relentless ongoing thing with the sports titles now, to sort of branch off from FIFA for a second and actually talk about NBA. Obviously enough, NBA Live is coming back this year. It's had a bit of a break and such. How do you feel that, has that reinvigorated the franchise? Has that actual break allowed the team to sit back and go, look, now we've got the space, we've got the time to do this, this is what we want to do?
I mean, that's always our intent. We made some tough decisions around NBA because of our commitment to quality. As a brand, we decided to really stand up and be counted for our commitment to quality. I think what the NBA team has been able to do is take 3 steps back, take 3 deep breaths, and really look at what is the future of basketball. What is that going to mean, not just this year, but next year, 3 years from now? And when we rebuilt FIFA, starting, we first launched it with FIFA 07, we'd had a couple of years before that, we built a separate team to really think about what is the future of football going to be like? How do we architect this game to make sure that it has longevity? And, the results with FIFA speak for itself. NHL was the same. So NBA, we're following the same trend. And while, it was important to give them time to get to this year, the biggest importance was to give them time to really think about what's basketball going to be like 3 years from now, and how do we make sure we don't do anything today that prevents us from getting there.
Well, talking about the team taking time to really sort of think about what they're doing, and you mentioned obviously FIFA had the exact same team. You had a separate team working on redoing it. Was there any thought of doing that, almost having that truncated schedule of 2 teams working per franchise, and therefore you're getting like an overhaul almost every 2 years?
Yeah, so we do that now on most of our teams. We have what we call an advanced team, and it's not a full-size team, because what you want when you've got those teams really trying to think about and incubate new ideas is you need these core creative groups, these pods, if you like, that are made up of engineers, artists, production, design, who can really start to move quick and iterative in that lead-up time before the full team rolls over and onto the game. And what you get out of that is things like Ultimate Team. What you get out of that is things like EA Sports Football Club, those connected experiences, that commitment to quality. All these things don't come in 12 months. We learned a long time ago, you actually can't build a game in 12 months anymore. It's just not possible. And so that concept of rolling teams is something that we put in place about 3 or 4 years ago, and is really paying dividends now.
And talking about NBA, talking about Madden, NHL, all the American style sports, they're always going to have their fans. Now, there will be fans across here in the UK, but trying to attract a new audience or trying to make it as beginner-friendly as possible, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think great games always attract big audiences. I grew up in Australia. I played Madden and hockey growing up. I couldn't even watch American football, on television in Australia when I was growing up. And hockey for us was a game that girls played, on grass. It wasn't played on ice. But I grew up and I played those games because they were great games. And I think quality experiences will always bring in a new audience. And I look at, even I didn't grow up playing RPGs. They were far more complicated than I could handle. But now I play RPGs because they're great experiences. And I think provided you focus on the quality of the central experience and an appropriate learning curve regardless of where you come in, you're going to attract new people.
There's also the option, obviously, of the arcade sort of style stuff. I mean, we've seen it with the Burnout Crash, but also with NBA Jam, which is a great entry point for people that really enjoy the actual feel of that particular sport, perhaps, but can't get their head around the mechanics of it per se.
Yeah, I think arcade, experiences play a really important part in introducing someone to a sport. But at the same time, I think the simulation sports, the way we build them, have the opportunity to bring in as many, if not more, new people because of their authenticity, because of their relationship to the real sport. I mean, even if you live in the UK and you've never really watched basketball, you probably know who Kobe Bryant is. You've probably heard of these big names, the Michael Jordans. And a core NBA product or a core American football product lets you kind of connect with that authenticity. And that's a really important piece of attracting a new audience to a sport.
You said connect, and this is an awful segue. Perhaps better than it actually should be, but talking about adapting sports for new technology, well, Connect's obviously been there for a while, but you've got Connect, you've got, yeah.
Connect
Thank you very much indeed. I will copyright this later on. But that, and even like the Wii U tablets, how are you guys approaching that sort of tech? All eyes on, hands on, with trying to adapt it into the sports brand?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the thing, when we started building games, or when I started building games, 12, 13 years ago, I built for 2 platforms. Then I built for 4 platforms. This year, I think we will build for 13 platforms. Next year, it will probably be 20 platforms. And the reality is, what we're always looking for is a way to use this new technology to enhance the experience. Can we use it to add value to an experience that we have? And if so, we will. And I think we've seen that with, the connection of, smart glasses, iPhones, tablets, Android phones. We've seen it with Kinect. We just launched Tiger, which really changed the way you play. It was the biggest overhaul of the swing in Tiger Woods that we've had in probably a decade, and the Kinect was the key driver for that. So as we look ahead, we're always looking at how can we use this hardware to enhance that experience.
Something like 15 consoles, 20 consoles, or 20 formats. It feels like EA are one of the few guys that now, when you see an advert for a game, it's across the board on the advertisement. There's like 15, 20 different takes on it. How do you guys approach that? I mean, operating and trying to design a game and implement it across handheld, across console. All these consoles have so many different aspects to them now. Is it a bit of a headache?
A bit of a headache would be an understatement, but it's as much an exciting challenge as anything. So when you think about an opportunity for us, so we don't see it just as, well, how do we build for as many consoles or platforms or pieces of hardware? We look at it as, how can we use those pieces of hardware to connect you to the sport, connect you to your club, connect you to other fans and friends playing the game every hour of every day? So, in the past, we would build around console, and you would get together between the hours of 5 and 8 at night, and you would play your friends. And that was it. That was your gaming life. But now when you get up in the morning, you can interact with your friends through your mobile. When you log onto Facebook at lunchtime, at work, you can interact with your friends there through the Facebook experience. And when you get home at night, you can interact on your console. And then the important part is everything that you did throughout the day adds value to who you are. So while it's a challenge to build towards, the challenge is an exciting one, because what it lets us deliver the consumer is the future of gaming. It's this concept of not just playing on every platform, but everything you do while you play, adding value to who you are and giving you another opportunity to connect with your club, connect with other friends and fans and rivals of that club, and for us to connect with you and deliver better experiences.
I was going to finish actually on the next generation console, about what is next for us, what is the next generation. But you could sort of say that the next generation is already with us, with mobile devices, with Facebook. It's completely changing and altering how we as the industry did it 5, 10, 15 years ago. How do you see the next 3 to 5 years sort of pan out with EA Sports?
I think it's going to be an amazing 3 to 5 years. I think you're going to see 3, big commitments from us. You're going to see an ongoing commitment to quality, that ongoing commitment to innovation, changing the way you play our games each and every year, and polish, making sure we've removed all of the frustrations that we possibly can through extensive testing, pre and post launch. I think you're going to see us move from product to service. So regardless of how you get the content, we're going to continue to enhance and deliver new experiences each day throughout the year, throughout the season. Follow the heartbeat of football, follow the heartbeat of hockey, the heartbeat of basketball. And I think you're going to see us drive for greater connections between, the experiences that you play across those consoles, regardless of what they are, whether they're mobile devices, whether they're console devices, whether they're PC, whether it's an internet-enabled refrigerator or a 3D hologram that comes up through your living room floor. Everything you do is going to be connected, and everything that you do is going to connect you to your club, you to the sport, and you to your friends. And so when we take that approach of quality no matter how you play, service that changes as you play, and making sure that we're constantly connecting you to the things that are important to you, the sport, your club, the players, your friends, your rivals. It doesn't really matter what pieces of hardware come along, as long as we're using them to the greatest ability to deliver on those 3 things. And so for us, that's the future of EA Sports.